Alright guys, welcome back to the Big Kountry YouTube channel, and today we got a lot of stuff to do. I just finished eating my Thanksgiving dinner and I got a bunch of work to do to get rid of all this turkey. So I got to head up to the shop. We got a list a mile long of mods to do to the Turbocharged Gsxr, and then we're going to take that puppy for a stroll. I just know that with this extra day off, I'm going to have enough time to go riding on my Turbocharged Gsxr. Let's get it. First thing we got to do this thing to get her a little closer to getting on the street. All right, so we, for one, got to put a new tire on there because when we was running this puppy the last time, we wore the tire out, guys. Tire was barely hanging on when we only made about 190 horsepower. Now that we got almost 100 more horses, that ain't gonna work, all right? So we got air shifter we got to put on. We got front sprocket we got to put on. I got another really cool treat that we got to put on that I can't tell you about just yet, but we're gonna do the sprocket first because no sense in putting our air shifter and everything on here and blocking up where our sprocket is, because then we have to take it back off, put sprocket on. So Big Kountry real smart in thinking this process out, and don't want to do no extra work. So let's get the sprocket off. All right, let's take a pause in the action right here. Check out bigkountry.shop. First thing you're going to click on when you see Big Kountry is our last race. We went ahead and won that one. But you can go, I got tons of merch on bigkountry.shop. Check it out. You can get the Ride Red Get Head Honda t-shirt. All the Honda stuff on there, but don't worry, Suzuki guys. I got you covered. Check it out. We got the Zook Nation t-shirt with the red Gsxr on it. All kinds of cool stuff on there. Don't forget the discount codes though. Yep, this is the page here that can save you money at the biggest parts suppliers for motorcycles. We're talking wheels, exhaust, tunes, engines, titanium, and everything else that you can think of. Big Kountry's got you deals on bigkountry.shop. The difference in our sprockets, guys. Look, this little 16 tooth what come off of it. When you add 100 horses to your Gsxr, you need this big boy here, 18 tooth 520 sprocket. And we could have just went way down in the rear, but Big Kountry likes that big old 49 tooth in the rear, so we going with the 18 in the front. Look at that, boy. It's gonna look like a whole nother dang wheel up in there. Come on now. Alright, so we got the air shifter. She's mounted up. We've run some of the wires. Pretty simple setup. But I was reading here. It says, after reviewing this document, if you have any doubts about your skills or experience, we recommend you to seek professional assistance. Now, Big Kountry don't know if he's qualified to be doing this job. But, I don't understand the instructions, but I think I can get this figured out, guys. It's pretty simple. I mean, you just plug the wires in, and they only go one way. I mean, this ain't hard. You ain't gotta be no professional to do it. we got the air shifter pretty much all buttoned up, or pretty much all on there, just not buttoned up yet. Actually, we're going to put that up there in the tail section. But while we're running all these wires, there's one other thing that Big Kountry really got to have on his turbo. We're going to install this Z-Tronics box from Wildest Racing. And what this is going to allow us to do is be able to use our log box and log our air fuel ratio and be able to tune this thing at the track, but actually give us data from the racetrack. So this is a lot, better setup rather than just going on the dyno and you get a dyno tune, and then when you roll out of there, you could be different when you go to the track, guys. So this thing is going to be super, super critical that we have everything 100% the way it has to be, because we just added 100 more horsepower to our factory engine and factory ECU. So we have to take advantage of all the help that we can get from Wildest Racing, because we're going to need to be able to monitor this thing like crazy and be able to make air fuel adjustments at the track to make sure this thing is a 100% dialed. All right, check that out. I mean, everything looks factory. Big Kountry is a genius when it comes to this stuff. Look, we got O2 sensor down here, so now we can read our air fuel ratios while we're going down the track. I'm actually not going to try to read it while we're going down the track. We're going to have the Wildest log box on here, and it will be reading it as we go down the track, and then we will be able to make adjustments to get this thing perfect, because Big Kountry likes all his stuff perfect. We got our sprocket on there. We got the air shifter mounted. Everything's done with the air shifter, except I had to order one little fitting for the airline, because well, I mean, these kits are made to go on all kinds of bikes, and there's just one little fitting I wanted to do that would make it look a little neater, a little nicer, and a little more country. But we got brand new SAMCO tire on there. Yep, if you seen us at the last video with the Honda, we was having some spinning issues, so we're gonna try on the, I guess, not as perfect of track. The SAMCO works great. What else we got? Oh, the next thing I got, dude, check this out. I already unboxed it, but let me close it back up and then we'll do an unboxing. Boom, straight from HTP Performance, K-Tech suspension. So yep, with this bike, we just ventured away from Penske on this one to see, can K-Tech do the job that Penske normally does? HTP, they supply K-Tech, so we reached out to them. They got it sent to us. And let me just tell you, the presentation, the box, you get this little socket comes in. I mean, it looks nice, dude, but look at this joker. Everything in Gsxr red, pretty much, is what I'm calling it right now. And we're gonna go ahead and put this on. This is one snazzy looking shock. Let's see if it performs as good as it looks. That was quick and simple install right there. Got her on there. Look at it. Just look at it. Man, it feels so much better too. Much, much stiffer than the factory suspension. So the factory shock, man, when you get this long, it's just maxed out. If you go back to my last video when we run this thing at the track, dude, when I would leave, even with just the 190 horsepower, we were bottoming the tail out. We were just out of suspension. When you put horsepower and then you put these groceries on it too, guys, you got to have a good shock. So now that we got a much stiffer shock, we're gonna be able to transfer our weight the way that we want to, and it's gonna make this thing work. So we don't, before we were close to bottoming out. If we run that factory shock, we're bottoming out. We're blowing the tire off on this thing every darn time. But so now that that's done, it brings us to our next. This might be one of the coolest things, other than obviously having a freaking sweet turbo on there. But this right here is gonna transform this motorcycle, guys. So we got our stock cover on there, which, I mean, you see, we still even got some gashes and scrapes from the wreck. Big Kountry never did change out the cover on this, and that's all about to change today, guys. So as you know, if you've ever pulled the clutch cover off of a Gsxr, it is an absolute night in jail to get the thing put back on, if you know what Big Kountry's saying. Sometimes it takes me 10-15 minutes just to get the freaking clutch cover back onto the motorcycle. And we don't have time for that stuff when we go to the track. So this thing is still stock clutch and everything, but with this much horsepower, we're gonna have to keep an eye on the clutch. We're gonna have to adjust it a lot. We're probably gonna have to add some plates every now and then, because on top end, it's gonna wanna drive through that stock clutch. Which brings us to our newest upgrade. Boom! G-Force race engines. Check out this billet quick access cover. So now we can bolt this on, mount this on our Gsxr, and we got 4 bolts right here. Take this off so we can access our clutch. We can change our clutches, do anything that we want to do, because now not also is it really a job to take the clutch cover off, but we also got our scavenge pump on there. We got all kind of stuff that really makes that an aggravating job to have to take off every single time. Plus, you got to pull the bodywork off to get that off. This here, about 3 seconds, we can take our clutch cover off, let it cool the bike faster, make adjustments. We don't got to pull the bodywork off. The scavenge pump can stay. This is a huge upgrade, even with the stock clutch. Plus, this gives us room if we ever do decide to go slider or Gen 2 clutch or anything like that. It'll all fit under this clutch cover. And I mean, it matches our freaking wheels. Guys, this was a no-brainer to get this badass billet machined G-Force racing clutch cover. Now let's see what it looks like on the motorcycle. So we finally got our clutch cover on there. So one thing that really sent Kountry for a loop, our clutch cover should have been probably a 10-minute install. Not so much. Our scavenge pump would no longer fit. So I had to take my very expensive billet clutch cover over to my milling machine and mill about 130 thousandths off of it to get clearance for our scavenge pump. Not something I really want to do, but we got to do what we got to do. I mean, this cover's not made for a turbo Gsxr. So anyways, while we're in here, you can see now we got quick access to our clutch. So really, now it's just 4 bolts. Pop the cover on and off. You no longer have to deal with lining up all these gears in here. The scavenge pump, all that stuff is going to stay on there just like that every time we go to the track. And now all we got to do is pop this off every time for maintenance. So what we're going to do, we got to have Brock's heavy duty clutch springs in this thing anyway. So while we're in here, we're going to go ahead and pop those in. That's a quick, simple, easy job. This thing's got to have these heavy duty springs, because like I said, with an extra 100 horses, we need all the help we can get getting the clutch to stay and traction. So these right here are going to help us with both. this out, guys. I'm just about finished up with the Gsxr 1000 when I get a package in. All right, we've been trying to decide what levers we want to go with on the Gsxr. Of course, we had to have something with red in it, and I just didn't know what I wanted to go with. But unbelievably, I got a package in the mail from Darren O'Reilly from the Virgin Islands. Note in it says, big ups from the Virgin Islands. New levers for the Gsxr 1000 red build for Big Kountry. Holy crap, guys. A set of ASV levers sent in from one of the subscribers. Literally a gift to Big Kountry. And we're going to get these things installed on the bike. These are going to look perfect on the Gsxr 1000. Really excited about this. Never got a gift like this. I'm amazed, guys. I really thank you guys for the support. And shoot, I guess if anybody wants to send me anything, send away. I never even thought about this before, but this is awesome, guys. Thanks so much, Darren. I really appreciate the support, and shout out to the Virgin Islands. Man, those look sick. Freaking matching ASV levers. Look, they match perfectly to the paint. These are exactly the levers I probably would have got myself. I don't think I could pick out any better for this motorcycle. Thanks again so much, Darren from the Virgin Islands. Freaking sweet gift for Big Kountry. I appreciate it so much, and the timing couldn't be more perfect because we're getting this thing ready to hit the street. We needed some cool levers. Awesome. Let's get this thing out there.
Here we go. Our first ride on the Turbo Gsxr. Jeez, it's so freaking loud. You can just tell this is a 300 horsepower monster. And we're about to go ride it on the street. Man, Chris has the tune on this thing. I mean, just starting it up right in the parking lot, crazy smooth. Like, it's literally no different than it was whenever she was a street bike. The only difference is now she makes 100 more horsepower. It's a lot louder, I know that. Tons of traffic. Big Kountry might have picked the worst time to go ride his motorcycle. Been a busy day for Big Kountry. Getting all this stuff put together on this thing. Then I'm also working on the dang Honda and the stock wheelbase Bullia Metzco. Trying to get ready to go to the track tomorrow. Lots of stuff going on. Quick shifter, doubt. I mean, it's just so normal. It's crazy. One thing I'm gonna have to be sure I'm gonna watch a lot is our engine temp. Because, I mean, this thing, we got the short radiator on there, and then we only got one cooling fan, and we got a big old turbocharger up there heating things up. So we want to keep an eye on it that she's staying good and cool, which, I mean, sitting here heck at idle, Temp's remaining right at the same. We got to get on a little back road back here where we don't got quite so much traffic. Ain't no fun sitting at the red light. Man, how freaking good does this thing ride? Unbelievable. Let's get on a little back road here. Holy cow, this is just unbelievable. We got a turbo Gsxr with 480 miles on it. Look at that. Look, our engine temp actually going back down when we get rolling. Wow, this thing's a monster, dude. This is so cool. I really wish I might even end up ordering a shorter swing arm for this thing because, well, for one, guys, if I get on it now, she is just gonna annihilate the tire. Real dangerous, actually. So we're not really gonna get to do any kind of pulls or anything because it's just too dangerous to take a chance this much power on the road. I mean, this thing with this length, even with the stock, no turbo, it would just blow the tire away anytime you wanted to. So you can only imagine what the Turbski will do. I mean, I'm just honestly amazed that we literally bolted this whole turbo kit on, and if it wasn't so dang loud, you literally would not know that it's even on there. I cannot tell a single difference. The throttle response, everything identical to the way that it was, as a bike with no turbo. We're going to go a little bit further up through here, and then I'm going to switch the camera off, and I'm going to put it on the back of Haley Rose's car so that we can get some good footage, just cruising up and down the road, doing some rollers and stuff. That way you guys can see this baby instead of just listening to me blabber about it. I can pretty much already tell you, this is one jam-up machine, and she's dialed. So, I mean, now the only thing we got to do is get it to the racetrack and see how fast it is.
Alright guys, so what do you think about that? We put the Gsxr together. We got our sprockets, we got our air shifter, we got our air fuel, our log box, we got our levers. Dude, we went all out and got all the stuff on there. It's ready to go to the track now, but you're gonna have to wait. In fact, I gotta wait because we gotta get the Honda dialed in. We're racing stock wheelbase bikes, but I promise you, we're taking this Gsxr to the track soon. Let me know in the comments, how fast do you think it's gonna go? 280 horsepower, stock engine, stock ECU. Whew, it's gonna be a handful is what I'm talking about, guys. But the unbelievable part, what you see in this video, this thing rides just like a stock motorcycle. I literally rode this motorcycle a good bit to Bike 9 and all of that before it had the turbo. I'm telling you, if it wasn't so loud, you would never even know the turbo was on there. Moore Mafia, Chris, he has this thing dialed, dude. It is right. And I'm telling you, the HTP turbo kit, she makes the horses. You literally bolt this thing on, get the ECU flash, and it's a done deal, dude. Get on it, ride it. I still even got the back seat and the foot pegs on there for Haley Rose. I'm gonna ride it to the bike night. I'm gonna be two-stepping, and then I'm gonna pull up to the track and be faster than anybody there. I know, crazy, right? But while we're here, that's wrapping it up on that. Look at this thing, guys. Parked right here beside us. He's doing a giveaway right now. So right now, you can go on moremafia.com. Anything that you buy is gonna automatically enter you to win this 2025 Gsxr 1000. And I mean, dude, he's got a lot. He ain't got a turbo, but he's got everything else done to this thing. Brock's exhaust. He's got Moto wheels. They're coming for it. He's got ASV levers, carbon fiber all over this thing. Dude, it's tricked out. He kept it short, so it's still perfect for the streets. Hey, if it was me, I'd be heading over to moremafia.com right now. Don't forget, you can use discount code Big Kountry on anything on the website, save you money, and possibly win a Gsxr 1000. That's gonna wrap it up, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We got big goals, big dreams, but most importantly, you guys have got to keep it country.